Now that your students have been using Penda Learning to complete standard-specific activities, let's take a look at how Penda's Class Mastery Report can strategically drive future instruction using data. We will go over where to find the report, break down what the report tells us about mastery, and discuss how to use the report to differentiate instruction with your students. Using Penda's Class Mastery Report to drive instruction saves teachers time by providing regular informative student data without having to grade papers, simplifies the organization and analysis of data. There's no need to create your own reports to analyze mastery based on each standard, and supports RTI and differentiated instruction. It allows teachers to get immediate feedback as to what students are struggling with and gives them the opportunity to course correct to deal with those struggles in a rapid feedback cycle. That means no more waiting until a chapter or unit test to find out where students need additional help. If you are enrolled in PASS, Penda's Pacing Assistance Service, you will automatically receive a Class Mastery Report by email first thing each Monday morning. You are enrolled in PASS if your students are receiving automatic assignments from Penda on your behalf that are aligned to your school's or district's curriculum pacing guide. If you are not enrolled in PASS or you do not receive your Monday morning email due to spam filtering, you can access your Class Mastery Report anytime using your Penda Learning teacher account. Once you are logged into your account on pendalearning.com, click Reports. Then click Simple. You will see the Class Mastery Report in the lower right. Select the class for which you want to report, then click Get Report. The report will download to your computer as an Excel file. The Class Mastery Report is similar to the check engine light on your car. It allows you to take the pulse of your instruction and student learning on a weekly basis. It will help you drive instruction and implement interventions in a timely manner. This is not a complete comprehensive diagnostic, but gives you a snapshot of where your entire class of students are in terms of standards mastery. If you need a more informative look at a particular student, you can run a student mastery report to see more details about that student's achievement. Looking at your class mastery report, if this is the version sent to you by email from Penda, you will click on tabs at the bottom of your spreadsheet to switch between your class periods. You will see that the students are listed in alphabetical order. The class period information is in the upper left, and the key is in the upper middle. This particular report addresses 8 different science standards, and they are listed at the top of each column. As you mouse over the standard, the verbiage for that standard is shown. You can also print out the standards information with your report by going to Page Setup, click on Sheet, then make sure the Comments dropdown says At End of Sheet. This way, a page that looks like this will print with your Class Mastery Report. The Class Mastery Report is color-coded to make your data analysis easier. Scores in green show mastery of that standard or a score of 80% or above. Scores in yellow show partial mastery of a standard or a score of 60 to 79%. And scores in red show that a standard is not mastered with a score of below 60%. Standards that have not yet been attempted will show as gray, and standards that have been partially attempted will show with this symbol. The score shown for a student for a particular standard is calculated by averaging every single attempt that student makes on every activity that is tied to that particular standard. Data will populate into the report only once students have completed 50% or more of the work assigned. Near the top of the data table, you will see there is a row that shows the class average for each of the standards. Whole class is usually designated as RTI Level 1. This row shows you if whole class reteaching is necessary for any of the standards. If the class average is green, most of the students mastered that standard. If the class average is yellow, then some portion of the standard needs to be readdressed to enhance understanding. If the class average for a standard is red, then reteaching of the whole class on that standard is needed, perhaps in a different teaching method or using different resources. Now I'm going to enter into teacher talk so we can talk about what to do with this data now that we understand the class mastery report. The class mastery report is well suited for assisting with RTI or response to intervention level 2 or targeted intervention groups. We can create intervention groups to allow us to differentiate instruction for our students, especially those who are not showing standards mastery. This is where each teacher will need to look at their students holistically to decide how to create their intervention groups. To create these groups, you could use previous testing data, previous quarter's class grades, the class mastery report data, or a combination thereof. For my example class, I'm going to use only class mastery report data to create my intervention groups. For ease, I will call my groups green, yellow, and red. Since there are 8 standards listed on the data table, I have decided that for a student to be in the green group, which would be for those with the highest standards mastery, they would need to have 7 to 8 standards fully mastered, or green on the report. My yellow group will be for the students who have 5 to 6 standards mastered, and my red group will be for those with 4 or less of the 8 standards mastered. This is not an exact science. This is where looking at your student holistically is important. You may have a student who has only 6 of the standards mastered, but based on other observations and assessments you've made, you may know they belong in the green group with the highest standards mastery. You will want to decide on your own criteria while leaving room for adjustments that you know need to be made to your groups. Once you have set your intervention group criteria, you can actually create your group lists right in your Excel document if you are comfortable with cutting and pasting. Or if you prefer, you can create a 3-column data table and type or handwrite the students in your intervention groups. You will want to make a list of each group to assist you when you create your intervention groups on the Penda Learning website. The data on the class mastery report can also be used to create cooperative learning seating groups like the ones suggested by Kagan Cooperative Learning Structures. Kagan suggests seating students in groups of 4 with 1 high achiever, 1 low achiever, and 2 middle achieving students. Depending on the number of students and the setup of your classroom, you could follow this model or modify it for your situation. The priority would be to pair a high achieving and a low achieving student and blend in the middle achieving students as the numbers allow. Let's say my classroom would only allow students to sit in groups of 3. In the period 1 class shown here, I would create 6 groups of 3 each in the following manner. Since I had 1 more student in the red group than in the green or yellow, I picked the 2 highest achieving red level students and put them together with a green level student. If you have a class that has a higher number of greens with less yellow and red, then you may want to try for groups of 4, each with 2 greens, 1 yellow, and 1 red. Using the class mastery report allows you to easily group your students to find a seating plan that works for your particular class. When making your intervention group decisions, you may find that you want to look at some more detailed data about a particular student. You can do this by running a student mastery report. In your Penda account, click Reports, Simple, then go to Student Mastery. Here you will select the student and subject and click Get Report. You should know that the Student Mastery Report shows activities, standards, number of attempts, first score, last score, best score, and mastery level. This is different from the average of all activities related to a particular standard that is shown on the class mastery report. In addition to the simple reports available to teachers, there are custom reports you can run in the Detailed Reports section. On the Reports tab, click Detailed. Here you can create customized reports. You can create reports about assignments, progress, and usage. You can change the academic year, run a report for a particular date range, select a particular subject, and even filter by particular groups, such as the intervention groups you will learn how to create. Once you've created the customized report you are looking for, you can print it or export it. Please see other Penda Learning videos to get the most out of Penda's features for your students, especially the video Putting RTI into Practice with Penda Learning's Intervention Features.